what's up? We're live. Coming at you on YouTube. Have you ever heard of it? Pretty popular platform. And Twitch too. Yeah, we're on Twitch.
But I think most of what we get interaction wise is YouTube, isn't it?
Interaction wise, Mixoplex is always on Twitch. He always watches our shit on Twitch. That's where he's got that Snorlax.
Yeah, he actually, I think he paid for that thing. I don't know if people just get it.
I was gonna say, he didn't have to. It's like, I wish that was free because shit, paying for that.
I don't know what it costs. I think it's like $2 or something, maybe.
Is it like? Does that go to Twitch? Because that doesn't go to us.
You sure?
I mean, I've never cashed out money from Twitch.
You gotta check the account settings. I don't know. I paid the person who made it like $10 or something to do it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it goes to them.
No, it doesn't go to them. I paid them like PayPal.
How much did you pay them?
$10. It was like some Spanish girl that I met through like a guy who streams Pokemon stuff.
Yeah, that's a good price for that. That's like not a bad thing to pay. That was worth it.
They did like different iterations of the logo because at first I didn't think it was clear enough what was going on with the blunt. Most people still think it's just a cigar, but at least they know it's like smoking something.
Yeah. That ain't a cigar.
It's black and mild.
Yeah. Najigba, that ain't a cigar.
Najigba?
Yeah, that player.
Yeah, Jackson Smith Najigba.
Yeah, he's got an interesting name there.
I got to share really late my last draft. I got to say, doing the early drafts, it does pay off a little bit because I got some McLaurin shit in like the 7th, and he's back to going in like the 5th again. After
he's going
people
earlier.
like really overreacted initially to the injury, and then they all realized like he might miss 2 weeks, and it's not worth dropping him that far.
But still, there's some people that like they won't even want to take that, like because they just want someone for opening week because it's just in their head.
Yeah, but I'm confident enough.
A lot of people like that.
Replacements where I'll take on the risk to get value.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like that though. They just want a perfect team from. Like I see, like some people won't draft any person with a questionable thing on their name.
I noticed that with which was good. That I think Burrow still had that shit when we were drafting, right?
Yeah, and I think that kind of helped that out. So I think he would have probably been gone.
Because if people were paying attention to the news and stuff, they would have known that he's been practicing and fine to debut. So we got really lucky on that shit.
Well, no, he came back to practice on Wednesday. So
you're right. It was announced after the draft.
Yeah, it was after the draft. It was Sunday was the draft. Wednesday was when he came back.
Kind of leading to that anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
I doubt any of those people in that league are like paying attention to news and shit as much as we are.
No, I don't know. I think people are, especially how like I saw like.
Well, the guy who got Jackson definitely is. That guy is.
No, there's a couple people that picked up Evan Hull and dropped them, and then like it was like 3 people. I think actually that league's pretty in tune with things, to tell you the truth.
Okay, then that's probably why we've been doing some.
I'd say it's a pretty
couple years because I've completely underestimated the level of competition. I thought it was.
Oh no, I'd say it's a very competitive league. Like if you just go do a standard Yahoo league, it's not going to compare to this. Because this is all like people that are actually like, I mean, most people that have been in this been in for like 4 years here. Like the 5th season.
Yeah, I think this is our 5th year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the 5th season for a majority of the people, and I think all the people who were doing it were into fantasy before that anyway. Like.
Yeah, I mean, we were doing different sites before this ESPN stuff.
Yeah, I think everyone in the league kind of was too, and I also know that this is like the second league for some of the people in this league. Like, a bunch of people in this league are also in a $500 league. So this is like the low end one. But I'm not paying $500 for a fucking league.
No, I did that once and I got so fucking lucky that Barkley had like an insane season. And I got Tyreek Hill too, but
But you could
never
have
done
a
that kind of
bad
shit
time, and
again.
then
The
you'd be
most
like,
I'll
"Oh
do,
fuck."
I actually signed up for a $250 Yahoo League today.
That's a. I would see. I would do that. The one that I was doing is 150, but if they jacked up 250, I'd still be in.
Well, I did a $200 and a $250 basketball leagues last year, and I finished second and third and made 2,000. So
Yeah, so that worked out good.
well, it's just I feel so much more comfortable with basketball than anything else. So I'm more open to investing that type of money.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah. If you're confident in it, then I think it makes sense. But I mean, I think you can still catch a bad beat. Like, what if you catch a beat where I don't know, 3 of your top picks get fucking hurt? Then you're kind of.
That's
That's the
more of a
problem
thing
I
that
have
I've
with
dealt
fantasy.
with football than basketball. Basketball, there's definitely a lot of injuries, but
Not like
not
football.
to the level of football. Like not even
No.
close.
No. Actually, it's funny. I saw an analogy. I heard an analogy talking about with Star Wars, and they're talking about the Star Wars TV shows and the movies, and they were comparing it to NHL or no, they're MLB versus the NFL, where like Star Trek is better as a TV show, an MLB where you have fucking 160 games and it's like nothing really matters until the end and all that shit. And then like Star Wars is trying to do that, doesn't seem like it's working. They were better being like an NFL where it's like an event. You got 17 weeks. That's it. 17 games. And even
Yeah,
that.
but I heard that Khan movie was really fucking good.
Oh
Not
yeah,
the
Wrath of
new
Khan
one,
was yeah.
the
No, yeah, yeah.
old Khan movie.
Actually, like they have
The
a
one where
couple
they
of their
put the
older movies are
slugs in their
good.
helmets and then they dig into their brains.
Yeah, that one's good, but then there's like the first one's good too, but it's like kind of slow, but it's still good. It's almost like 2001-ish a little bit.
Well,
That
that's
one's
a good
good.
thing to rip off if you're gonna rip off something.
Yeah, and I think so that one's good. The Wrath of Khan's good, and the one where they're in San Francisco looking for a whale is good too. And that one's like they're in San Francisco in the 70s or something. It's a pretty good movie.
Is that the Wrath of Cock?
No, it's like I think it's after. I forget what it is. I don't think it's Search for Spock. It's like and even that one's pretty good too. Actually, honestly, they're the old Star Wars movies are pretty good. Star Trek movies are pretty good. But then they kind of did some shit with the new Star Treks. Well, that one was they were okay, but like I'm talking the Next Generation movies.
The guy who played Spock was in American Horror Story, I think, or some shit. The first
Yeah,
season.
I mean they were okay. Those movies. The ones that were really bad were the Next Generation, like the TV show the 90s TV show that they did. Like I think they did 3 movies, and they were not good. Those are really bad. Like they were so much better as a show than a movie. Like that group of cast and that the stories they were telling, it just didn't work in movie form. And Star Wars is kind of the opposite, where it doesn't seem to work in television form because I think there's just not enough there. It's like it works better off the mystique of like kind of like Jaws, where it's don't show the shark, only show like 3 minutes of the shark total in the whole fucking movie. It's the mystique of it. When you're looking under the covers there, you're seeing some I don't know, some boring characters. Like look at Rosario Dawson's face in this. That's like her expression the entire show. Right there. Just bored. So it looks like to me. Like I don't even get why you'd want to make a character like I don't know. Like if that's gonna be your character, why would you want to make a show about someone like that? I don't know, like that would be like I'd do another character.
They just have no respect for the audience. They don't really care what they want or think. They just know a good majority will show up, and they don't really need to try that hard to do anything good.
Yeah, Mixaplex said that was my expression the whole show. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm actually just about to talk about Ahsoka episode 3. I watched today on my phone, like David Lynch loves. You thought you saw the movie, but you didn't fucking see it.
Of him
Yeah.
talking about people watching movies on their phones.
Yeah. Yeah, I could probably pull it up for a little bit because it's just fucking hilarious.
Also, there's a good clip of
Total
him
weirdo.
talking about Naomi Watts for Mulholland Drive, in that he like fell in love with her. What's the like photo you give
Oh,
when
the
you
headshot.
headshot? Yeah, and then when she came came to casting, he was like really disappointed in how she actually looked. And he said it like with her right there next to her, like next to him.
Oh, well, come on.
But it
Now,
wasn't
if
like
you're
awkward. It
playing
was just funny.
the movie on a telephone, you will never in a trillion years experience the film. You'll think you have experienced it, but you'll be cheated. It's such a sadness that you think you've seen a film on your fucking telephone. Get real.
Yeah, it's a great iPhone commercial. I remember when that came out. This is like from years ago.
Him
Jesus.
and Werner Herzog have this like element to when they talk. Everything just feels funny unintentionally.
Well, it's funny.
It's
Werner
like their
Herzog, I
tone.
think that was I
We gotta
think
make some clips of him in there too. We need some Werner Herzog sound bites and clips thrown in.
one of the main reasons I think The Mandalorian worked initially was because of Werner Herzog's feedback. You know, he gave them all this feedback, like, why are you doing this? It's like, I kind of think he was a big part of why it was worked. He even said they wanted to make the Baby Yoda CG. He said, you have this fucking puppet. That's awesome. He's like, you're a fucking coward if you don't. He called Favreau a coward if you don't use the puppet. Like, he was right. I mean, that's what kind of worked the best. And I don't know, the first season had also a mystique to it as well. It was way better than what they're doing now. Now it's just been like a trash show. The Dave Filoni trash show. But yeah, I saw the first episode or the third episode. I've seen all these episodes now. Jesus. It's a I don't know. It's a watchable show. It's not like unwatchable. It's okay. It's nothing I like really like or anything, but it's watchable. Here's
Where
the
is it
trailer.
on the Rings of Power scale?
Oh god, Rings of Power is unwatchable, I would say. You know, like if I'm gonna put them out of 10,
to me
I
that
put like Rings
show
of
is
Power.
like the I don't know what you call it. The like floor, you know, that is like the
Yeah. It's like 0 or 1 out of 10 kind of thing. I'd say this is like a 6. It's like, you know, like 5 and below, I would be like, obviously, don't watch it. 6 is like it's just there. That's my rating for it. It's just there and able to like watch. It's not super enjoyable. Like some of
but
it
you can get
is. I
through
mean,
it without feeling like you're being waterboarded.
yeah, it's not like that.
I found the new Sith location, but I don't know how to beat him.
Perhaps it is time to begin again.
You and I both know who could help you with this. She's still just as stubborn as ever. Our enemies are multiplying. Galaxy is not safe. What happens when you find Thrawn?
Power. Such as you'd never dream.
You never made things easy for me, Master. I started hearing whispers about Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire.
God, all these little references to better stuff. That's another thing. It's like I went through this episode and I was like going through the stuff that they took, and it's just crazy. Like, first off, that Hera, Elizabeth Winstead, like that makeup looks terrible. It just looks like I don't know. I just can't get over it. It just looks like cosplay. Like
It feels like it's like mumblecore mixed with Star Wars.
I don't know if it's that.
Mark Duplass might as well be directing this shit.
I don't know. Maybe he'd do something better. I don't know. Maybe it'd be more like character focused, which could be better. It's like I think that's like what they don't realize. It's like it's not interesting unless you have a character you care about. Everyone's so flat. Like,
Yeah, that's the Rings
give
of
me a
Power effect.
yeah, that's pretty flat. The story is flat in that. Like, I mean,
I wonder
yeah,
if
no,
it's
there's not any
intentional.
good performances. Like I feel like there's not a lot of gravitas in Star Wars. Yeah, the show's the whole show is horrible. Have I seen Andor? I have seen Andor. I didn't really like it. I thought that was a little boring. It was okay. I don't think it felt like Star Wars. It felt like something else. I don't like Rogue One, so I like didn't give a shit about Andor. It's like that was also like I really don't like Rogue One. I never liked it.
Makes a
You know,
place.
like
What kind of good stuff are you watching lately?
I don't know if there is anything good right now. But don't you think she looks like cosplay? Like this character looks like a cosplay thing here. Everything looks like too clean. And even he's what is you guys? Yeah, we're the ones to watch. Yeah, it's better than fucking Ahsoka.
Well, we don't have that level of content.
Well, not yet until Disney buys out us. They bought
No,
us out. I
fuck
would
them
take it.
buying us out. We just gotta cash that stock out at the right time before they.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Is like once they're done
Oh.
tanking all their shit, how much longer are they gonna try and do good stuff before they go back to just making horrible shit again?
I don't know, man. But speaking of this look here with this makeup, I was thinking about Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, she had like
For
green
Halloween,
skin.
that's what you're gonna dress up as.
No, but I was just thinking how like her makeup looked pretty good and believable. Like this looks like fake. It's hard to explain. It's like too bright. It doesn't look like real. It's like it's been done good. It's been done well before is what I guess I'm trying to say. Like, but not in here. Not in here. Also
Yeah, what is the most
takeaways.
racist Halloween costume you ever did?
Probably a pirate, right? They pillaged the Caribbean, raping and pillaging, and you know,
I did
or I don't.
I did a
What's not
Spanish ghost
offensive
where I
about
had like just a bed sheet, but then somebody like had a sombrero at their house, so I put the sombrero on the ghost.
it? That is pretty good. That's pretty good. Mixbook says if you guys get bought out, I'm guessing you'll be swapped out for hosts that reflect modern audiences. Yeah, probably like let's think, maybe like we'd have to be
We'll be
we'd have to get
replaced
race swapped.
by women. Probably we'll be either like 2 black women or 2 trans black women, and
Yeah, it would. Yeah, I agree.
they'll definitely have different opinions on most of what we're talking about. I would think.
Yeah, yeah, they'd probably exact opposite of what we're talking about. Stuff I did like the music in this. I think there's actually good music in the show. That's like I'm gonna give it a compliment there. There's good music. There's a good score. There's a part where there's a training scene, and it really did have this like Asian vibe. You know, like in a Hero where there's that little string instrument.
Yeah, I don't know. I forget the name of it, but I love that sequence. I've actually watched. I
Yeah,
have like a bunch of videos on like a YouTube playlist where it's like ASMR and ambient stuff, and I have a bunch of videos of people playing that, and they grow their fingernails out really long and pluck it. It's pretty weird looking.
yeah. What's it called? Gu Quinn. It's called Gu Quinn.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's
I don't
fucking
know if
awesome.
that's
That
the
scene. That
exact
seems
pronunciation,
awesome.
but you're close enough to where I
Yeah,
know what
go
you're talking
watch
about.
like the battle in Hero where the rain's going and that guy's playing the Q Gwyn or
And
whatever.
he's like
And
he's like jumping on
awesome.
the sword because everyone's really light.
Yeah, I love that fucking movie, especially even like where they're like that guy, like, oh, that's Donnie Yen too. Donnie Yen's awesome, but like especially where he's like screaming, he's like, yeah, and then it's all like slow mode and
Yeah,
reverbed and like it looks awesome. The whole sequence looks it was like way ahead of its time. Like
I like the part
like
where the entire army is bombing the calligraphy school with arrows. It's really fucked up. They're just like it's almost like it's like genocide. They're like wiping out the entire um group of like I guess I don't know what they I guess they're not really like writing anything though. They just because they do it in the sand, so it's not really on paper. But
yeah.
They just want to like annihilate
that
their
part's cool.
history and written word and stuff.
Oh yeah, Mixplex saying, I understand you're not into the story of Andor, but it was good to see competent writing for something Star Wars. It is true.
What's
I mean, I did
Andor?
notice that. It's another Star Wars TV show. It is probably up there
Who
with
stars
their
in that?
best. I think his name is Diego Luna. That's the main character from
the
Rogue
guy
One.
from The Last of Us.
No, that's Pedro Pascal, but they look very similar.
Oh no,
there
Diego
is
Luna was
there
in
is a similarity
he
there.
was in the one with the British girl who
Yes,
the plans for the fucking
Rogue One. It's a prequel. It's a prequel to Rogue One. This whole TV show.
Okay, so Andor's connected to that.
Yes, and I mean, I'll say this: the vibe is more serious, so it's kind of different. And you know what? They also do a big There's definitely some Blade Runner vibes, like especially the opening. I remember like the opening episode. He's on some like futuristic city where it's raining, so you're already thinking like Blade Runner, and like he's in kind of like a strip club thing. So it's like it has some grime of Blade Runner that was cool. It's definitely a little darker.
Shit that we're talking about.
Yeah, it kind of opens up with him. He's in some strip club, and then these like Empire guys fuck with him, and then he outside of the club he like kills them, and he's got to be on the run because now he just killed 2 like Imperial officers. So like that's sort of where the story starts off there. But it's a pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's definitely watchable. Like things that weren't that watchable were like Boba Fett like series was pretty bad. The last Mandalorian season was also really bad. Season 3 sucked. It was really bad. Season 2 was like okay, but it was just like cameo fest.
Like there's like 3 different fucking Star Wars shows going at the same fucking time,
and they're all kind of Andor at least was its own solid thing.
I don't know how.
Yeah, and there was and then Obi-Wan.
Shit.
There was an Obi-Wan show too, and that was awful. So it's like there's been Obi-Wan, Mandalorian, Boba Fett show, Ahsoka, and Andor, and at least Andor was like separate.
Yeah,
all the other ones.
You're gonna milk every fucking
they're milking
secondary character with a fucking goddamn pulse they can.
Oh, dude, that's what Star Wars is. I mean, I've heard Red Letter Media talk about it. It's like they don't have much to go off of. It's like they don't. It's not Star Trek.
The universe and we let shit around for a couple seasons.
The bench is not deep with Star Wars. Yeah, that's like you have to realize there is not much there. So it's like that's what I think that's what you're seeing. They're just forcing in every like there should be a new story. Tell a new story, and I think that's what was nice about. I mean, I know this connects to it,
right?
Yeah. I mean, it's they. We're talking. This has been
put it into Chat GP, whatever the fuck, new Star Wars series, and then it'll spit out some bullshit.
I mean, that's like this is kind of stems from Rebels, and that was original. So I'll like give it that like at least this felt like original-ish. So that was kind of I think that was the best thing about it, that it wasn't like connected to everything you've seen before, but still I would say it gears towards kids.
The main character.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. I mean, I like the droid in this series.
Well, you can't do R2-D2 because the motherfucker will be in subtitles the whole time.
David Tennant plays the droid in this series, and he probably is the best character in the whole show. I was realizing that. Like the droid.
From Doctor Who?
Yes, he's definitely... And I mean, you could kind of tell it's him once you know it's him. But
that was a good Doctor Who...
yeah, that's my favorite Doctor Who.
Time period.
I like as far as I know, but I like the other guy.
No.
Well, I like all 3 of those guys. I like that guy.
Was that with Billy Piper, or Billy Piper was a different?
Billy Piper's in
the guy from 28 Days Later.
She's in both. She's with both. She's in with Eccleston.
Days Later.
His name is Chris Eccleston. I think he is. It's Chris Eccleston, and then I think David Tennant is also Scottish. But then Matt Smith was good too. So it's like I like those 3, and that's. I mean, I don't know the old ones.
Creepy looking. He's got that like Conan O'Brien coif and.
Well, I think the only thing he's very fucking good in House of the Dragon. I think that's his.
Yeah,
this is like his heyday.
That is the whole.
Doctor Who though, who's okay in it.
I don't know. Sometimes it feels like it's easier to play a villain than be likable. You know.
Yeah. Oh, and also this whole episode is filled with like spaceship dogfights, and that was kind of like that action I didn't mind seeing. That was kind of cool. But then you see Ahsoka at one point go outside the spaceship and walk on top of it with like a spacesuit that's fitted to her stupid headdress thing. I don't know what. I don't know. Here it is. Here's a picture. She's in this spacesuit thing, and she is on top of the spaceship, like cutting down spaceships with a lightsaber. That was fucking ridiculous. And then also this
Yeah,
episode
I
brings
mean,
up that
how will a
everyone can be.
lightsaber have the length to do that?
I guess it got close enough for her to do it, but it was stupid. Like I thought it was like there was some like it started. It was kind of cool. She like the ship's broken down, and she gets on it to like like maybe like if they're gonna shoot at them, they're gonna reflect the the spaceship shots and shit. So I thought that was like that could have been cool. You should have made it more high stakes. Like I don't know, like I'm thinking like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like whenever he went outside the ship, everyone almost dies when they're outside. So it's maybe kind of play into conflict, but they don't do that. Every Jedi is just perfect, which I think is stupid. Like maybe just make it like hard that if you're gonna go out there that it's gonna be dangerous and I might be
Well,
killed, but it's like nothing. There's no conflict.
The nice thing
and
though
nothing's gonna
about
happen.
building up Jedi to that level is when they get fucked up, it's that much more impactful.
Yeah, and that was kind of what was cool about certain
Like
things
with
in the
Darth
past with
Maul,
Jedi.
like they built
Yeah.
both those two motherfuckers up to be invincible, and then Darth Maul like cut the motherfucker in half and shit. And
No, yeah, I really do start to realize how George Lucas was pretty original, even with the prequels. Like his stuff is original. It's not like at least he was doing something new, and I don't know. This is all just playing off of what's already been created. But they also reference that everyone can be a Jedi in this series, which is ridiculous. So now being a Jedi really doesn't matter because everyone has the Force. So that was a little weird. And this whole
you show a clip of her cutting through a ship, or
I don't think they'll probably put that on the photos or in the trailers, but yeah, there's that not Maggie Gyllenhaal girl, but looks like her. Here's some cosplay. Yeah, they're not
it
going to
looks
show
like
that.
a pretty bad wig.
Yeah, there's a lot of like bad wigs and bad outfits. Like you'd think they'd have that down a little better. Here's David Tennant's robot character, by the way.
Okay.
Also it's like filled with references, and in the end, I didn't like it because I think they're just trying to erase old Star Wars. I think that's their plan. But yeah, I'll go through some spoilers on this shit. It starts off with Sabine training with Ahsoka. And here's again a reference to the first movie, The New Hope. If you're gonna Star Wars, New Hope, I don't know, it depends where you were born. To me, it was always New Hope. I wasn't born in the 70s, so back then I think they just knew it as Star Wars because that was the only one that was planned to happen. But I know it as New Hope. She's got the blaster helmet on, and they got that little robot that's shooting at her, just like Luke did in the first movie. She even says when she puts it on, "How am I supposed to see?" So she even says the same quote that Luke said in that first movie. Like, kind of bothered me a little bit. I was like,
Okay, so it's a callback.
it's a callback, but it almost feels like an erase back. I think they don't want people to go watch old Star Wars. They just want to
An
like,
erase
well, we
back.
can take it. Yeah, I think they're just trying to erase what's there. That's the vibe I get. Then then it cuts to Elizabeth Winstead talking to a council saying that Thrawn is coming back, but then here's like a trope. They don't believe her. Yeah, isn't that like I feel like it's a trope where like someone tells these elders or this, and then they don't believe it, and they're like, no, that can't happen. But it's like I feel like I've seen that in a million things. I can't give you an example of other things, but like I feel like I've seen it a dozen times.
Well, a million things and you know any single example. Hard to make
I
a good
couldn't
argument.
come up with a example, but I feel like it's been done a lot. It's always in like fantasy stuff where like there's a prophecy, but they're like, that can't never happen. This
It's
will
like a
never. I think it kind
MacGuffin.
of happens in Star Wars.
Right?
I think it happens.
Isn't that sort of
What's
like
that?
a MacGuffin?
Yeah, it's like kind of that. And then after that little council thing, we see that Hera has a son. And going back to the Rebels, there is Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character's name is Kanan, and he has like a romantic thing with this cartoon character. This is a cartoon love thing. So I guess he had sex with her, and there's a baby. And his name is Jason. but it's spelled Jacen, which is another reference to the extended universe of Star Wars that they just try to erase. In the extended universe of Star Wars, Han and Leia, after the original movies, they have a kid called Jason, spelled Jacen, and he is a Jedi, and so a lot of the stories follow him. So I kind of think this is a big reference to that. Here's like another character that's gonna be out of the EU, but they're not gonna really use it. So there's that. And then there's later on there's a dogfight spaceship battle, which was pretty good. But again, it feels completely like New Hope. There's even a part where Sabine shoots a fighter down and says, "I got one," and then cheers, which is exactly what Luke did in New Hope. And then, but again, Han Solo and Luke was a much better. Like that scene plays out so much better between Ahsoka and Sabine. Like there's just not the chemistry. There's not the acting skills, the directing, the writing. It's just not there.
It'd be cool if they had a sequence. You want to talk about like callbacks to the the whole Lizzo thing, where maybe they go to like some alien bar and there's a bunch of strippers shooting lasers out of their pussies, and the dancers have to catch in their mouths.
Yeah, they should call back to Lizzo's terrible moments. I mean, Lizzo is in the Star Wars universe. You know that, right? She's
who's she in there? You have a clip?
She was in Mandalorian with Jack Black as like Jack Black and her were married as this fucking some planet that the Mandalorian goes to, and she's in it. Lizzo is officially in Star Wars canon.
Was that shit ain't happening?
Well, yeah, not the pussy stuff. That's none of that. But so they're in that dogfight and they eventually get shot, and then they kind of like, which was kind of cool. That's where she gets out on the spaceship and was doing that stupid shit with the helmet that's fitted to her fucking ear headdress thing. Let me see. Like I don't know what it is.
She cuts the ship in half.
Yeah, she cuts a couple ships in half that go past her. I think there's 2 that happen. But yeah, bonus hole lasers.
Remember how fucking hyped up that Gravity movie got with Sandra Bullock? That shit sucked. I watched that fucking shit.
Yeah, that definitely got hyped up. It was okay. I don't know.
I didn't get the fucking hype behind it. It's just
I mean, I don't think the hype behind it makes sense, but I kind of enjoyed that movie. I like that was doing those remember that was doing that whole like gimmick of not many cuts. It was like almost felt like no cuts
like
at all.
Birdman, where it was a single.
That was pre-Birdman though.
Oh, okay. So I guess he really.
But it's not something. It's not something that's new. Like, I mean, go back to. I'm sure this was done in the 30s.
No, it's not new.
There's nothing new
from that. Fucking what's that really fat guy who did Citizen Kane?
Orson Welles.
Yeah, there's the movie with Orson Welles and Charlton Heston and shit when the car gets blown up, where it's like a tracking shot for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's honestly the truth is, yeah, and you know what? And also, I'll say this: I think that's also what was good about George Lucas was, I think he had a big respect for old. I mean, it's the same thing with Steven Spielberg. George Lucas had a big respect for the old shows like Flash Gordon and things that came before him.
Like Steven Spielberg, it's just, and I never realized it until seeing what's that movie with that like based on his life.
I didn't see that. You saw that. I never saw that movie.
Yeah, I saw it, but I can't remember the fucking name of it.
Yeah.
But it made me realize how
Jewish
much
people or something.
Westerns, and I never thought about that before.
Oh yeah. Well, even again, Star Wars has a Western vibe. Like Han Solo is like.
No, I know. Yeah, definitely. Like it made me realize like
in a bar shooting somebody, like it's a fucking cowboy.
All these like neo action movies too, like Die Hard and all that kind of shit, and Predator and all. They're all westerns. They're just mutated.
And then like with Spielberg, there's these adventure movies from like the 30s and 40s that are essentially fucking Indiana Jones. I mean, go watch a movie called Gunga Din. You could search this up. Gunga Din.
Wasn't that like a TV show though?
No, it's a movie, but if you watch Gunga Din and you're like, don't understand that this is pretty much exactly what Temple of Doom is, then you're like retarded. They even have the Indian.
Yeah, they have the whole sequence of him being on the fucking wheel thing or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, but also just even like the whole Indian, like remember like that cult, the Indian cult that is in the movie Gunga Din. Like that same Indian cult is in there. So like, like just the fact that they were going off of old Hollywood with stuff that worked before was also smart. And I feel like, Disney now they want to forget about anything before it. They want to think they're the first to do everything, but no, they're fucking not. But then also like that spaceship's broken down and they're kind of like out of radar, like within this it's this big ring thing that's obviously going to open a portal. That's like you could tell even before they find out in this that's what it's going to do, but they're out of range because they're like stuck onto it, which again is a callback to Empire Strikes Back, where Han is like trying to get away from the Star Destroyer, so he parks like on it, under it, and then they can't see him. So again, another big reference to that.
What's the
then
Star
there's remember that big triangle ship in the Star Wars? The Empire has it. It's like a gigantic triangle. Like that's their big like tank cruiser things. Not like a Death Star, but their big triangle cruiser. Well, it's not as big as a Death Star, but it's like their big cruise ship kind of like ships, as opposed to like
Millennium Falcon.
Like you know what I mean? You know what I mean? The whole movie. I mean, what's it? That one movie, Spaceballs, makes fun of it.
By the way, aren't they?
Oh no, they're models. They're models.
No, I thought some of them were cutouts that were like drawn and they got like a blade and just dragged like a piece of paper across a background that was either painted or
There's some of that, but a lot of it is cutouts. And there was I would say there's something on Disney Plus that is good. It's going through like the early days of ILM, and it's fucking cool. It's an awesome documentary series, and it's really fucking cool. Phil Tippett is awesome. Fucking great stop motion guy. Did all the awesome stop motion for all the early Star Wars. Did the RoboCop, that like little robot thing that like kills everyone in the boardroom. He's done a lot of awesome stop animation.
I love RoboCop, man. That movie's
RoboCop's so good. But yeah, that's
even the
also
other ones.
that's
like,
it. That's another thing too.
With the like weird drug dealer Messiah guy and all that. I don't know. It's a good franchise.
Yeah,
and unfortunately the reboot probably sucked. I didn't see it, but it couldn't be good.
It's not good. Not good. I never saw it, but I could just say it's not good. But one thing I was thinking with like that ILM documentary is just, this is ED-209. Yeah, that's the robot. Yeah, that the whole, especially when it falls down the stairs too, is ridiculous too and awesome. It looks really good. But just also I think, you can't capture lightning in a bottle. And the old Star Wars had so many things going for it. It's also not just George Lucas. It's like what I'm saying. It's like there was this whole team of creative people that came together to change the industry of effects. That is a big part of why it was good. Not just one
Jurassic
guy.
Park too. Like Jurassic Park's effects still hold up pretty well.
Yeah. And actually, speaking of that, with Phil Tippett, everything was going to at one point be stop motion. And I've seen the original Raptors in the stop motion, and it is like, it's probably the cleanest stop motion I've ever seen. It's not as like jerky. Even like Ed 209 is kind of jerky when he's falling down the stairs, but still, like it wasn't there. So I'm glad they didn't use the stop motion. But it was probably one of the better stop motions I've ever seen. Is like the test footage for the Raptors, but also all the sequences that were used in the movie.
What about the acid sprayer versus Newman?
That's a animatronic. They went with animatronics and a mix of CG for Jurassic Park instead of doing stop motion. So I don't think there's any stop motion in the whole thing.
I don't know. I love when practical effects get blended really well with a little bit of CGI.
Yeah, I agree.
That's like a good mix,
even
because the lighting is not that different from one to the other if you can blend it well.
Yeah, and even like The Force Awakens, I remember I saw documentaries on it. They did that actually pretty well. They tried to do that hard where they tried to do, and I think J.J. Abrams started off well, but it didn't end well, but started off trying to stay true to that idea of let's shoot things in locations. Let's not just put everyone behind a green screen. Let's have more puppets, more practical things on camera, less CG. But then
Was
after that,
Maul
it all fucking
what
changed.
launched his career, or did he have something other than that
I think it was Alias, which would have been the first thing he got big for.
with Jennifer Garner?
Yeah, I would say Alias first.
That was
And
the
then-
TV show, wasn't it?
Yeah. He was TV for a while. He was like TV guy for a long time. Okay, yeah. Back to Ahsoka. Oh yeah. So then, like I said, they get attached to the fucking thing, but then their power's out, so she's on top of the thing. And that was actually kind of good. Again, the hyperdrive is out, which is again another reference to Empire Strikes Back, where pretty much the whole story with Han Solo and Leia and everyone on the Millennium Falcon is just dealing with the hyperdrive being out. You know, like so they're going to that moon, which turns out to have a fucking slug thing that they're inside. It's like they're just trying to fix it the whole time. That was kind of their main plot point. That's kind of played into here a little bit. And then, you know, that's actually interesting when there's some conflict where you can't use your getaway card. So like then they have to go escape, and then there's an escape chase scene kind of thing. And then these space whales show up. And the space whales are from Rebels, so it is something that's been seen before. And they're going in and out of these space whales, which are I kind of like that concept. There's these animals that exist in deep space. I think that's kind of cool. To me, I like that. I have no problem with that. Sounds ridiculous, but I kind of like it. They escape through a crack in between these space whales and go to this forest planet and land. Which again, a forest planet reminds me of Dagobah. So another Empire Strikes Back reference right there. And then basically that's where the whole show ends. It's like they're just there, and then like, oh, we lost them, and that's pretty much where the show ends. So it was kind of ended on a very like no cliffhanger, no this, just like kind of end the fucking episode. Like at least give a cliffhanger. You know, like I really don't think Star Wars or Disney, maybe just Disney. I don't think they know how to make TV. Like Netflix knows how to make TV. Star Wars, Disney does not. But overall, it was okay. It was only like 32 minutes without the credits, so it wasn't a long thing. I kind of like that. Here's some Easter eggs I saw. Jason Sandula again. They're talking about here. A reference to Heir to the Empire series, which is in the extended universe, which Disney claims when they bought it. They're like, we're not gonna do any extended universe. Now they're trickling in all the stuff that people actually used to like. Yeah, and then you know, Sabine survived the lightsaber getting stabbed, which that's also terrible. Like there used to be serious implications of a lightsaber. You know, going back to the original series, we had Luke getting his hand cut off. I think Darth Vader getting his hand cut off. And then even the prequels, we've had Qui-Gon Jinn getting killed when he got stabbed. We'd have Darth Maul getting his whole body cut off. We've had Anakin getting his 2 legs and arm cut off. Like there were serious implications of a lightsaber. Now it doesn't matter. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's in the future of Star Wars, where now there's like better medical stuff, but it's not been explained. But also, it's like that first episode ended with her getting stabbed, and then the next episode starts off with her being okay. Like maybe you should have had something that comes in between where you're like wondering if she's okay or something. It's like it was like a paper cut. Yeah, and it's Disney lightsaber. And then I also heard this, and it makes me think if it's too religious for Disney, but apparently no Disney show has said "May the Force be with you," which was a common staple in everything we've seen before. It might be too religious for Disney, but it's not been uttered in any Disney show. I'm sure it's been said in the sequel series with Rey. I'm pretty sure it was. Oh yeah, and then we have Mon Mothma that shows up on the council. I don't think anyone cares about Mon Mothma. Oh yeah, and I was wondering this too. There was some weird speech being taught during her training sequence. I was like, is this a reference to something? And then I guess it is. But yeah, I like that whole scene where she was doing her training. It wasn't bad. It was definitely a ripoff. But I like the music. It had this build up Japanese music vibe to it, that's pretty cool. I didn't mind that. I was like, this is at least kind of cinematic, and I like the music that they're doing. But yeah, the Force is female. This is very true. The Force is female. Everything's female these days, right? That's our, the Force is female for sure. That's what you have to realize. I have to get that T-shirt too. I know there's a T-shirt out there. Force is female T-shirt. Sounds cool. But yeah, overall, it's all right. Like, I didn't hate it, didn't love it. It's not the best thing in the world, not the worst thing in the world. Like there's way worse out there. I saw She-Hulk, so I've watched She-Hulk. I've seen way worse things. But at least She-Hulk was like so bad it was kind of funny, and you're like almost like, what the fuck's going on? This is like obviously terrible. So I almost kind of you have the shirt that says I'm Ken enough, or I don't know how they said it, but that is a good shirt, man. I've seen it on the internet. I've seen that on the internet. But hey, overall, this is my thoughts about Ahsoka. Oh man, Steven Spielberg was great, fucking great. I mean, shit. Again, also, I think these people, these directors, they should kind of mine what used to work, and I feel like you don't see that anymore. Go back to stuff that worked. I mean, I guess again, these are older directors. Is Steven Spielberg going to make an action adventure movie again? I don't know, but I feel like everything he touched in the '80s was like brilliant. So it's very strange to see that that's just gone. Even the stuff he produced, like he produced Poltergeist, a lot of the Stephen King stuff, Pet Sematary. Like he had his hands in everything, and every little kid too, like Goonies. I'm sure he touched all those kids. So believe me, he had those hands in everything.
Terrorist, your game is through, 'cause now you have to answer to America. Fuck yeah, so lick my blood and suck on my bone, America. Fuck yeah, what you gonna do when we come for you now? It's the dream that we all share. It's the hope for tomorrow. Fuck yeah. McDonald's, fuck yeah. Walmart, fuck yeah. Gas, fuck yeah. Baseball, fuck yeah. NFL, fuck yeah. Rock and roll, fuck yeah. Internet, fuck yeah. Slavery, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Starbucks, fuck yeah. Disney World, fuck yeah. Porno, fuck yeah. Valium, fuck yeah. Reebok, fuck yeah. Fake tits, fuck yeah. Sushi, fuck yeah. Taco Bell, fuck yeah. Rodeo, fuck yeah. Bed Bath and Beyond, fuck yeah. Liberty, fuck yeah. White Slip, fuck yeah. The Alamo, fuck yeah. Band-Aid, fuck yeah. Las Vegas, fuck yeah. Christmas, fuck yeah. Immigrant, fuck yeah. Popeye, fuck yeah. Democrat, fuck yeah. Republican, sponsorship, books.
Yeah, my favorite thing is the line of
I didn't-
Reebok's
I did
fake
not
tits and
think that
sushi.
clip would have the longevity that it has.
Well, it's a good,
Good part.
perfect timing for me to go take a piss and then come back. That could be part of
Oh,
why
I thought that was the Busey montage. I thought that was
that comes into play too for that same reason. But
yeah. No, I just
Disney stock.
Yeah.
We gotta go quick a little bit on here, I think, because it can wrap up at 10. But Disney stock continuing to fall. Oh my god, it's actually, this really is the worst it's been. $83 was kind of the worst it was talked about. Now it's already dropping down. What is it? I saw it today. It's dropped down to $81 today. So this is the worst
But
it's
didn't you
been
just
in.
buy some last stream?
I bought some like 2 days ago. I'm actually like happy I did.
Why? It just
I've been
dropped.
buying the Disney stock because it's dropping. That's why I'm buying it.
No, I know, but
I mean, I
you
still,
bought it
dude,
and then
I
dropped
still bought
more.
this.
How
It only
how do you
dropped
know,
like
how
$1.
much longer to wait for the rock bottom?
I mean, I don't know if it's gonna go further past this, but I've been dropping in this range of like it's been $83, 84, now it's 81. Within that range, I've been buying it, which is pretty good. But yeah, so what
I'm at
happened
the point where I'm gonna
yesterday is
start
kind
by
of
telling
why.
everybody I know to buy some.
Yeah, but you know what though? I've heard stock investors say they don't think Disney's gonna bounce back, but I don't buy that. I don't buy that one bit. I think they will.
Well, they're
What
not
happened
watching all
yesterday?
these shitty movies like we are.
Yeah. But what happened yesterday was they at this was 8 p.m. yesterday. Um they went dark on Spectrum, which Spectrum is the second biggest cable provider in America. You know, I know we don't really have it in our area. We have like Optimum and shit and Verizon and
I've heard of it.
Cablevision has dominated this area. Yeah. Actually, I've actually always heard
I've heard of
notoriously
Spectrum. I just I don't have it. I have
no,
Optimum.
no, notoriously I've heard it sucks shit. By the way, Optimum sucks shit too. Cablevision's fucking Dolan's. They own that shit. Verizon's way better. But
Yeah, we're all financing his shitty ass Bruce Springsteen ripoff band.
yeah, dude, I'm telling you, like, because I have
You have any
Verizon.
clips of that? Jeffrey Dolan's
I don't
rock
really-
band?
I don't have any clips of that. No, I don't want clips of that.
I
But
wouldn't
yeah,
want
they
that
went
on
dark.
my-
They went dark yesterday at 8 p.m., which is the exact start of college football's kickoff on ESPN. So like 15 million people like saw ESPN being blacked out because of this whole thing. It's fucking crazy. There was a lot of like shit. I saw this on Twitter. People were talking about it. What they had on their cable channels, and this is like I don't know. Disney owns like 15 different channels and shit. So, but Spectrum was like really giving it to Disney, saying they had all these like pictures, like screenshots on their channels, saying like our negotiations are trying to be fair to the customers, and that's why this isn't happening. And then they had this, QR code to take you to the landing page to talk about this, and they're saying we're on your side. I mean, I'll say this: I've always heard Spectrum was like pieces of shit, that their service sucks. So take that with a grain of salt. And don't act like these cable providers are the good guys. They are not good guys. So I will say that like these people are not good either. But pretty crazy, especially at the timing of what is happening. Right with college football, ESPN. We're gonna have Monday Night Football on ESPN. So like you're like a week out. It's a smart thing for Spectrum to do because it's like we're a week out from Monday Night Football. Like people are gonna want to fucking see that. 15 million people in America, probably some of those people are gonna be concerned about that. But yeah, they're completely calling Disney out. And I guess this is something that's been on the fence for a while. We've heard things. There's been ongoing negotiations with the Charter Communications at Spectrum, and Disney has had successful TV providers across country, and we're committed to agreeing with something they said. But meanwhile, this all did not work. They wanted, and that's the thing is like they want more money, Disney, and Spectrum is like, well, what the fuck? We can't increase the price this much for our customers, which is cool, but also you think about this. Spectrum is a cable provider, and Disney, who's so into fucking streaming, they're just trying to fuck them over. Like they're not making enough money on the streaming network, so they're like, we're gonna upcharge our cable prices. So that's essentially what happened. And they're like, well, why the fuck are we gonna do that? Just to we're just gonna bend over and get fucked in the ass for you guys? Like, no, I don't blame them on that. Especially with like everyone's cutting the cord. It's a big thing. Like that's something that's been happening for a while. And I mean, again, I don't blame anyone on that. I think cable's kind of shit because really, when you think about it, I've been a cable user for a while, but like, how many fucking channels do you watch? You watch like 3, 2, 3, 4, maybe. Like, is it worth it that you have fucking 500 channels? It's kind of stupid. That's why I get like the whole streaming decision because most people don't watch anything or they watch these streaming. I mean, network TV sucks, so maybe that's ABC's, CBS's fault too. But yeah, other media stocks are tumbling. Yeah, other TV stocks are tumbling because of that. So it's kind of been happening for a lot of things here because it really just makes you think this is going to happen with. This is probably going to happen with every other cable company. So ESPN could be going out for Optimum, could be going out for Verizon. You know, this is going to happen across the country because Disney is going to want more money for all their shit. Because in the end, they're fucking losing money hand over fist. So that's what's not good. That's something that's actually pretty fucking bad. Especially for the typical person. Like, that's not a good thing. Yeah, we're on the edge of a precipice here. They're trying to move forward, and they're even saying, Spectrum's kind of saying, like, we might just say fuck it. Like, we might just say fuck it and not offer cable. We might just be an internet provider. You know, there seems to be no point. I kind of think they're probably right on that. I think we're sort of seeing the death of cable. I mean, I don't think I'd want to pay for it if it wasn't for sports. But that's really it. That's keeping you there. And even Disney is talking about, which I think pisses off Spectrum and these other cable providers. They're trying to make a streaming service with Amazon, have an ESPN completely off cable. That just be a direct to consumer cable package of their own, which is crazy because I'm hearing upwards of it could be like $20 a month, which would easily be like the most money you're spending on a streaming platform. And I think a lot of people would do it if that was the only option. People would do it. But it's also, you know, consider this cable. You're gonna probably pay $100 a month anyway. So if you kind of package Netflix, I don't know, $15, another one $10, another one $30 or up to there, $40, and ESPN on top of it, you're looking at like still probably cheaper than paying for cable. So I think that's why a lot of people have kind of stopped it. Yeah, and approximately 25% of our video consumers are regularly engaged with Disney content, is what Charter's saying. Which, fuck, I feel bad for those people. I watched Ahsoka, so shit, that ain't good. Yeah, here's what Spectrum has said when they were talking about this. They have a whole landing page for this. This is Disney ESPNFairDeal.com. They went really spiteful and made this landing page, which is it's a little over the top. Walt Disney Company is doing the program from Spectrum, which helps create hardship for our customers. We offer Disney a fair deal. Who knows if that's true? That's what they're saying. I think it's probably true. They're demanding excessive increase. They also kind of want you to buy all their packages. The whole thing is about a bundle. They like want you to buy a bundle, where that means you're gonna have to have all these shitty networks that you might not want. Like someone who wants ESPN and watch fucking college football and get drunk. Do you think or ACCN watch college football and get drunk? Do you think they really give a shit about Nat Geo Nundo or Baby TV? You know, like they don't. But they want you that if you want that, you have to buy everything else. So that's I think part of the deal that's gone bad too and sour. It's gone sour. But here's this Disney stock. It closed today at one of the lowest numbers I've ever seen for Disney. It closed at $81.64. You could even see, like, look at this 5-day drop. Look at the drop. Look at the drop you see right there. And then you're gonna go like, look at this month drop. Like, look at the projections here. Look how low this is dipped. And look at 6 months. Look like what we're looking at. Like in May, this was at $100. You know, a stock. Now we're at 81. That's a big drop. And even like look at this. Like in February it was at $113.
I know, but where's the bottom?
In September it was at 116. This is the bottom. We're at the bottom. In March 2021.
Don't you always think you're currently at the bottom and then it gets worse?
This is the worst it's been.
This
is
Snow
worse
White
it's been.
shit
Like
feels like the nail in the coffin. Hopefully, right?
I don't know. This is the worst it's been. Like, all right, we're talking like the streaming era.
You don't think Snow White is like the last gasp of tanking, and then we're gonna go back. Not go back. Like maybe this might be when it turns around, or
Yeah, I think there is something to this writer's strike. I think they're trying to dump all their shit. I personally think that's a big thing. They're trying to dump all their shit so then they can kind of start new. That's what I'm thinking. But speaking of Snow White, that's our next thing here.
it's called
Next
a
and final thing.
professional transition.
It's a perfect transition. Rachel Zegler is the worst. That's what I have this titled. Because she is. She's one of the worst people I've seen in this whole Internet of Things. There's been some plot revealed coming out from the new Snow White movie. And the plot is that Snow White is going to be an independent liberal socialist that leads a revolution against the queen. So she's going to be like a socialist. And the dwarves are going to probably be carrying like a manifesto or something. Some kind of Karl Marx
You mean
manifesto.
the dwarf? There's only one.
Well, here's another thing. There are rumored to be dwarfs. They're not part of the plot like they used to be, but there might be some dwarfs. This whole little Portland group might be like a separate group here. But here's
From what
the
we
group.
saw, there was one fucking dwarf.
Yeah, but I think it's like they're in the story, just not kind of the main characters, which is also kind of stupid. But here, this guy has released some of the plot. The people that save Snow White in this version are called the Bandits. Jonathan, the male love interest, who isn't a prince, is also a bandit. The bandits are like Robin Hood. They steal from the queen to feed the poor. Snow White herself is an independent, liberal socialist. That's what everyone wants their kids to see,
What?
right?
I thought she
you serious?
was referencing. I thought she was referencing the lineage from her father being passed down to her. But how's that independent?
I don't fucking know. But she's
Remember
an
in the
independent,
interviews she was
liberal
saying-
socialist. This is only like, honestly, like I don't, you can't make this stuff up these days. Like, Jesus Christ, this is what happens. This is the story. The bandits lead a revolution against the evil queen. Like, I mean, come on. Like, why do you have to put politics into a kid's movie? Like, Jesus.
Because they know adults have to bring them there to watch it.
Yeah, I guess so. But then you're gonna cut out half the adults. You know, like this country is like half one side, half the other side. Why would you cut out half? Like, you just don't want to make money. You just don't like money. You're allergic to money. You know, like you're
That's
gonna
what
cut
I'm
out
saying,
half the
man.
people.
It's intentional. There's no fucking way it's
Well,
not.
Well, that's honestly, this is one of those
There's
things where
no
maybe
fucking
this
way.
is.
This company is
You're
way
right.
too intelligent, advanced, and invested in to be doing this shit constantly. And they are like confused why it's not working. It's gotta be intentional. It's gotta be.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe we're right here where this is really just like, this is the bottom where they're like, let's put out Snow White so we know this is the bottom, and then investors can buy and make money afterwards. But I don't know. Maybe they're just fucking that bad. It's like I can't tell if they're just that bad or if it is just a tank.
There's no way. There's no way. There's too much money and history of advancements and whatever they're doing intentionally to be good, then all of a sudden like just be ignorant and fuck up every single time. There's no way. There's no way.
Oh, definitely. But definitely Rachel Zegler sucks. I mean, and here's a good example of that.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White. Yeah,
saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. And so it's just a really
and also a socialist.
Her late father,
independent.
Well, how is she independent if her late father is pretty much the reason why she has any lineage to a crown? I don't get it.
Love it. It's not 1937 anymore. Come on. We all should be independent liberal socialists. But I don't know. All these clips are just infuriating. They're just infuriating. I think she's an idiot. Like, she's such an idiot. And
I can't
honestly,
tell, though,
again,
if, like she's being given a script to read from, or these are her personal opinions.
I think it's half and half. I think they got someone they know is like stupid enough to like put the foot in the mouth.
And then they just riff bullshit.
That of Snow White is different, and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't
That's not even true.
do that this time.
No, it's not even true. And also, it's if that's your takeaway from the plot of the movie, like, did you fucking watch the movie?
No, she said
Like,
she didn't watch it.
That's your
She
takeaway?
said she watched it
That's your
one time
takeaway?
as a kid and was afraid of it and didn't like it and never watched it again until she had to watch it apart.
This is a really good comment. This wins this is awesome. I don't really care about, but it's just weird to think that I have less back hair than Snow White. That could be true.
Yeah, she's probably got like Amanda. She
You know she's got to shave that
Amanda
mustache.
Cardi. Like Amanda Cardi was very hairy.
You know she's got to shave that mustache. Yeah, let's continue this.
So no Prince or a different kind of Prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because like we cast a guy in the movie.
Right.
Andrew
Can't have a love story. That's too toxic.
great dude.
Yeah.
It's it's one of those things that I think everyone's gonna have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. But it's one of those.
What a nice
Jeez.
person right there to
Nice.
her coworker. Jesus, man, I don't remember Snow White having a Karl Marx manifesto in the original one.
What a
I don't remember
fucking
her
cunt.
walking around with that.
Really, like what an obnoxious little cunt fuck.
That's where it's like, yeah, she really is the worst. It's undeniable right there on that one. The fucking worst. Yeah, so I think this really could be the beginning of the end for Disney. And then a new fresh
Hopefully,
start.
right?
I don't know what they'll do. I don't know what their plans are for like what's Disney's 2025 plans. You know, that's something maybe that,
alienate every single person left.
I don't know. I mean, I know that they're gonna do a Tangled movie, which I never saw Tangled. I'm not like a fucking little kid, but I heard Florence Pugh might be the main character, which sounds like crazy to hear like a main white lead, a white female lead. Like, so maybe
Yeah,
they're
we still
trying to
have
be like,
some
oh,
Horrible.
enough of this race
red
swapping.
makeup on it because the character from Tangled has long red hair, and Florence Pugh is a blonde.
Yeah, but it's also at least it's not like
Do
you could have
remember
took like a
those,
black. You could
I
have had like a
remember you
black
showed me
girl with
some
dreads
photos
with red hair.
Florence Pugh shaved her head.
I think a lot of them are bald just because it's easy to wear a wig when you're bald. I think that's a big thing, man. You can
No,
you can
I'm
put on a
talking about,
wig.
like, from like a year ago for the
She's
Met
probably
Gala. shit.
bald. Oh yeah, that Met Gala shit. Oh yeah, actually check out our Met Gala video. That was a funny.
Yeah, that was one of
time
our
when we
better.
do the-
I gotta say that
I think it's
that
just
was
hilarious.
one of our better series. The Met Gala shit.
We
definitely
got to wait
should,
for the pop
hit
culture
that up
time to hit us.
The next time it happens, I don't know. Is that it's every year, right?
Yeah, and I think there's like Fashion Week in New York coming up kind of soon.
All right,
Right? Isn't that in the fall? I thought that's in the fall. So like, yeah, Fashion Week is in. Oh, Fashion Week September 8th. So shit, maybe we'll see some ridiculous outfits
What's the
coming
over
up soon.
under on overalls being brought back?
I don't know, man. I think that's pretty low. Pretty low
0.5?
chances. Slim chances, I would say.
2.6.
Could be around there. I don't think there's any official numbers on that, but it could
I'll
be.
bet
around
on
there.
anything. I'll bet on a women's volleyball game in the middle of fucking winter if the props are good.
I wish they would bet on more of this stuff. I wish there was more of a bet on it. Shit. All right. That about covers it for us. We're gonna be back on Tuesday or at Wizard_Shack. So Mixaplex, man, thanks for coming by. I really like that comment. This
we'll
is
have a longer
hilarious.
stream on Tuesday. This is, we got other stuff going on.
Good show, boys. Yeah, but this comment is hilarious, man. I do like it. It's weird to think I have less back hair than Snow White. I don't really have much back hair, so I probably do have less back hair than Snow White.
I've got more than you being Italian.
Well, I'm not.
But
Italian. Well, I'm a quarter Italian, but I got a
I'm
better
like
3/4 going on.
75%, so you can imagine the level of grease.
Oh yeah, you could bottle that shit.
Yeah, every time I take
Sell
a
it to
shower,
sell it to a gypsy.
the tub is just stained with olive oil.
Well, you can sell that to a gypsy, man. They'll bottle that shit, sell it to a gypsy. They'll use it for a spell. But that
I would
about
like to meet
covers
a
it right
gypsy.
there.
I feel like they've all been murdered, right? Didn't Hitler?
I don't
hate
think you want to
gypsies?
meet a gypsy. I'm gonna say that I don't think you want to meet a gypsy.
Aren't they? They're all like pickpocket
You don't wanna-
scumbags and rapists, aren't they?
Yeah, you meet a gypsy, you'll be $50 down than when you came into meeting them. That's just the way of the world. But yeah, Twitter. Oh, is it X now? We're in X. Wizard_Shack.
I'm still calling it Twitter.
X.
I'm gonna
always call it Twitter
until they.
It's stupid, man. Because there's tweets.
And fuck
There's
Elon, man.
tweets.
That motherfucker took one of my posts down.
Well, that
I
wasn't
know
Elon. That was MLB. I saw your.
He had
I saw
something to do
the
with it. I never had
MLB
to
took
see
it
that
down.
before that piece of shit took over.
That also was like very dumb too. It must have been a GIF that wasn't allowed now. That's very dumb.
I don't know. I'm like hesitant to even bother posting shit anymore because of that.
But with that said, let's do a ham bone to the end.
Can you ham bone?
What's that?
Hey,